Oh, we're going. We're live. I guess we're live. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, here we go. Hey, 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 hey. Chris Johnson here for Oh Bless. Thank you for coming. Another amazing show, I believe it's going to be. I'm very excited. I want to give you a few updates before we start to let the rest of the world know, because we are zooming it out, I believe, on a whole bunch of channels. On Pass It 360, normally on Wednesday at 12 o'clock, is now going to be on Thursday for this week only at 2 o'clock. Special guest, Ash Mafara. You all know that on the end of the 22nd, because we had all kind of things people were saying. Ash clarified it yesterday on the round table or the discussion table or ask Ash any question you want table. End of the 22nd. In any time zone, it's done. I've been waiting for this for a long time because I want to go to the next level. When Ash comes on at Pass It 360, we don't have a clue what he's going to say, but you heard him say it, that he's ready to move forward. So I'm excited about that. Today on this show, of course, is Oh Bless. Last week, we had an excellent show. Actually, I don't think we've had a bad one yet. We had Miss Tina Go was on here with some people that were actually refugees and talking about how they're helping refugees out. Each week, I want to make it a little different. I have this lady that I'm bringing on tonight actually emailed Marty back in April. I called her yesterday. I texted her, I said, "You ready?" She says, "Chris, I'm ready to go." So her name is, and I'm going to say this, I hope right, Kari. Did I say that right? Lynn? Kari Young.
Kyrie.
Oh my God. You know what? Fire me now. I failed English in school, so I might as well just speak French. Oui, Young. How you doing? All right. Kyrie. Kyrie is going to give us a presentation tonight. I'm going to even let her explain it, what she's going to talk about. I want to try to bring something different from all over the world, from different countries every single week, something that'll wake you up to what we have to get done when it comes to O Plus and when the passive launches. So this is another thing that is very close to my heart because I dealt through this. I know a lot of you out there helping your parents, your grandparents, and that's just something we can do. But I think you're going to really enjoy what this young lady has to offer. So Miss Kyrie, the floor, do you need to make a PowerPoint or anything, Kyrie?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Should I have made a PowerPoint?
No. Kyrie, the floor is all yours. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. Good, great, and an awesome on passive day and night to everyone. My name is Kyrie Young, and I am from Washington, D.C. I want to say thank you, everyone, especially Chris, for contacting me yesterday, for allowing me to share this opportunity about my Oh Bless project. But first of all, I want to ask you, have you ever saw or heard something and said to yourself, I want to do that? How did they do that? That's amazing. Can that be me? So in January 2019, on the radio, I heard a woman speak and she said, an anonymous donor paid her rent and medical bills during the shutdown. Instantly, I said, oh, I want to do that. I wish that was me. Then on January of 2021, 430 Kansas families are breathing much easier today because of two mystery donors that paid off nearly $100,000 in medical bills. I'm like, wow, I want to be one of those ones that can at least give something. Was y'all aware that in 2019, a woman in Carlsbad, New Mexico, was sued 5 times by Carlsbad Medical Center for bills totaling $17,000? Her car was repossessed. Her wages was garnished. She was newly divorced, working 2 jobs with 3 children. But did y'all hear what I said? Her wages was garnished. So can you fathom getting up, going to work every day and getting paid, but you don't see it? That right there is something that is real dear to me. Sometimes I don't even want to get up and go to work, but you have to. But now you got to get up and go to work and not even get your money. So I was like, wow, what is going on here? Then in 2021, in December, his name is Mr. Combs. He received his heart transplant. His wife is my good friend from high school. We often would share laughter over the speakerphone, just cheering him up. And his roommate would be there and joining in the conversation. One day I called him and asked about his roommate because I didn't hear anything. It was just nice and quiet in there. You know, we laughing and usually he'd say something smart and just join in. And he told me this unbelievable story. I was like, tell me what's going on. And he told me that his roommate was in line for his heart transplant, but he was denied because his insurance ceiling was maxed out. I didn't even know that an insurance ceiling could be maxed out. I didn't even know that if you don't have a certain amount to put towards your surgery, if basically they would deny you. He had to leave the hospital without a new heart. However, I was told by Mr. Combs that they made sure that he was able to be transported, but he wasn't able to receive his new heart. And I was just in disbelief that someone in the United States of America was denied a life-saving healthcare service due to insurance. Immediately I said I wanted to help. What can I do? So then Bless came to my mind. I said, okay, I want and I have a strong desire to apply Bless to financially assist hospitalized patients who have reached their insurance ceiling and has been denied any life-threatening healthcare service, which would impact their and their families' welfare, which could eventually lead them to poverty. So I asked myself, what avenue would I use? How would I go about this? And then it dawned on me, majority of hospitals have social services within the hospital, which is a valid resource to connect with patients to the Old Blessed donations. And then I could get the consent of the patient and I would not be infringing on any HIPAA rules and regulations. HIPAA is one of I believe, the hospital rules and compliance in the United States of America. By working with the social services and the patient, I would pay the hospital on their behalf. My goal is to have a website with a map of the United States, with each patient who has been a recipient of Bless will be shown on the website's map with a dot, similar to the old Founders Testimonies website that we have. The dot would not give any personal identification information, but what it will do is give the patient's initials, the hospital name, the Bless amount, and the reason. And by me doing this would be an act like an accountability. This will validate the Bless donations that will be used for the purpose. This will let people know that when they donate, is actually going to someone. It would be seen. I would like to pledge at least 50 people a month. And I say 50 because it is actually a lot into it. I want to make sure that when the social services reach out to me, that the money is being placed to the most important recipient at that time, such as someone who might need a heart transplant, a liver transplant, lungs, anything of that sort. And I would easily come down to someone who is just in the hospital who might need minor financial assistance as well. This right here is so daunting that the guy who was in the hospital, I did not know him, but it was a little small connection because he used to laugh on the phone. So it actually pierced me a little bit. It pierced me a lot because to know or to hear someone who had needed services, but then was denied for it, a tear actually dropped because I'm like, how can you be here with all of these resources and not be able to have someone to say, well, no, you can stay here. We're going to use this avenue to help you. This effort is nothing small, and I foresee it to be growing enormously. I would definitely need other founders to assist me in this journey. I foresee to have maybe 2 to 5 people in each time zone. I'm just gonna say time zone to work with me, to speak to hospitals, to look over the paperwork, to make sure that all I's are dotted and T's are crossed. But this effort would at least help at least one person a day. If I can help one person a day, I feel that my purpose to use Oh Bless would be satisfied. And that is my Oh Bless project. Basically, my cause is to pay current hospitalization bills for patients who have reached their insurance ceiling. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, AY. I'm calling you because that's what I like to say. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I think this is actually going to be a good discussion. I know we have lots of time to discuss this. I'm 100% agree with you, Miss Young, because I've seen it through my whole lifetime, through my relatives, who most of them were business owners. Where I was in the auto industry for years. I had my insurance paid for. Where my parents always had their own business, so they paid for their own insurance. And when my father got ill, he had found that he had cancer pretty much throughout his whole body. They wanted to charge him $1,000 per pain pill. $1,000 just for one pill. Now, my dad actually bought one of those and he took it, and it put him in such a horrible state of mind that he refused to take him again. He said he'd rather be in pain, but that is a problem, I think, in America is healthcare. And why are people dying or being sent away when they need medical help? I will go back to what Ash Mafar has said many times, and this is not against any human being, but we do house many criminals in prisons. Okay, and they have rights too. They're humans, they have rights, but think that some of these people have done so wrong in this world. That's why they're behind bars. They get better attention than a person who maybe didn't make a lot of money in their lifetime and has a bad heart and needs a heart transplant. There's no way people should be refused. Any human should be refused when it comes to helping them out. I was just looking up government grants, $500 billion annually that they have just in federal and government grants. And a lot of those don't get used every single year. That's billions of dollars just sitting there. All right. Now, we could probably start something with unpassive. Well, let's use 1,500,000 people. All right, just to start it off. You were talking about 50 individuals to volunteer. I think we could do it once a year. I think we could get 1,500,000 people to donate $1,000 a year. Every 1,500,000. Someone do the math. Someone get out the calculator. You tell me how much that is. Real quick. Let's see who my mathematicians are in here.
$1,500,000.
So $1,000 times 1,500,000 is how much?
$100,500,000.
Okay. Can you imagine if we just took that money every year and donated it to every hospital? And we could probably get away with doing it 2 or 3 times a year once things really get rolling. Can you imagine that every single hospital in the world now will be funded this money, which has to be definitely kept track of, that anyone that walks into that hospital, no matter their financial status, their racial status, their gender, gets honest to good, the best healthcare, the same as the guy that drives the Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce, I said, the nice car, let's put it that way. He gets the same respect when he goes to the hospital or she goes to the hospital that's sick. There should be no more, well, this guy makes millions of dollars, so we're going to give him the treatment of number one. And this person down here, they made $30,000, $40,000 their whole life. They didn't save their money. Baloney. I'm sorry. Not everyone is blessed with a brain to become, super rich or starting a business or whatever you want to say it. But when it comes to you being sick, you're telling me a passive can't put something together like our government's federal grant program, except we make sure the money goes to work. The federal grants are brought in to help many people, mostly for businesses, building homes, stuff like that. But can you imagine if we had it in a passive grant system where all this money once, twice a year gets funded to every hospital in the world, and anyone that can walk in the hospital, no matter what, gets taken care of, gets the right medicine, not no junk, the real good medicine, what they need. And I think it would be a great idea. So if anyone has any questions or comments or any ways they want to add to this, please raise your hand. Now, this is a tough one. It really is a tough one.
But we have Latoya raised her hand.
Who? Oh, Latoya? Latoya, please. Thank you, Julie. I didn't even see it. Latoya, you're first, and then Jennifer, you're next. Latoya, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. This is also near and dear to my heart. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. My first experience as a professional social worker was in the hospital setting, pediatric hospital. And I have also worked in military hospitals, military treatment facilities. And the vast difference between knowing as a service member, you have every available medical option for you and your family, because when you're active duty, you don't have to worry about insurance. You go to the hospital, they diagnose you, they tell you what you need for your treatment, and then you get everything. You get every scan that's required. You get every test that's required. You get to see every specialty that's required, because none of those charges are going to come out of your pocket. So if you're feeling ill, you can just go. But the difference in the situation with civilians or people who don't have don't have insurance coverage, people who have to depend on insurance companies to be the middlemen between them and their medical care is terrible. So now I do in private practice, and I'll tell you there's 2 ways that people leave therapy with me. They either get better because I'm so great and I can, work wonders with people when given the chance, or something happens with their insurance and I never see them again. So I think with Obless, when we talk about how we're disruptive, I definitely want to put one of our missions to disrupt the insurance companies, because they're not necessary. Rich people don't get their healthcare coverage and their healthcare treatment through insurance. What do? They pay out of pocket because they can afford it, and they can afford to pay out of pocket for the most expensive, high-tech treatment that's available, because they can pay out of pocket for it, where those of us, cannot. So being able to disrupt the insurance industry would be awesome for everybody. And because that's also one of my goals. My goal is to disrupt insurance when it comes to mental health care. There should be no reason why somebody can't come talk to me because they don't have a job, or they switch jobs and the company that I work for doesn't take their insurance. So that is one of my goals. I'm so glad to be able to talk here because there's definitely a connection. And then the last thing I want to say, and I appreciate our speaker bringing up this situation from the patient side. I'll also bring up what it feels like from the provider side. For us to have every single thing that we need to save a person's life, and we can't do it. Everything that person needs to be healthy, happy, to have long life and longevity right at our fingertips as providers, and we can't do it. That hurts. I think Kyrie mentioned a tear fell. I tend not to cry over my patients because I'd be crying a lot, but it is sad as a provider. Here I have all of these tools at my disposal. I went to school. I have the years of experience. I can give me a few sessions. I'm talking about myself personally. Give me a few sessions, and I know exactly when I give you your diagnosis. And that's another problem. A lot of times for mental health, we have to diagnose people in order for us to get reimbursed by the insurance. Well, I don't want to call somebody depressed. I don't want to call somebody schizophrenic. I don't want to call somebody bipolar. They may have those conditions, but I don't need to work from that label to be able to treat them. But the insurance company requires me to label them. So yeah, I just wanted to add to that piece when we're talking about the humanity of our patients. I also want to add the humanity of the providers. Because we go in here to help. And what happens when we're told we can't help this person because, well, they didn't pay enough on their insurance? So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Latoya. Latoya, any way you and Kyrie could get together, maybe swap emails, you guys can start putting things together in your heads from two different aspects. If you want, you can use the private chat in the chat and maybe text each other your emails, and you guys can start talking about things.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, Kyrie,
Absolutely.
you'll be getting a message from me, okay?
All right then. And Latoya, I am a crier as well. So I salute you for working in that environment and have to hold back your tears.
Well, actually, I'm going to say right now, I love being a social worker. A lot of people have this idea that it's really hard to be a social worker, and it's not hard. It is not hard. I get to help people every day, every single day. The hard part is when I have to deal with middle managers and bean counters. That's the hard part for me. I celebrate my clients, because they have come to me because they know that they need help, and I'm here to help them. So don't worry about me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love what I do. I wouldn't do anything. I couldn't see myself doing anything else. But what happens is that when we have these emotional responses, I'm going to get a little clinical here, it's because there's a trigger that triggers our sadness, that triggers our fear, and triggers our anger. And we shouldn't have those feelings when we're talking about saving people's lives. We want to have hope and optimism and enthusiasm, like, hey, you can get better. And this is what we have. Well, this is what we will do to help you. That's where the joy and the passion and the motivation comes from for those of us who are medical providers. But where the tears and the frustration and the anger and the I don't know what to do is because we are being let down by the industry, period. So thank you, Kyrie. I appreciate your words. And I just wanted to say, don't feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me. But we do have a lot of work to do. That is for darn sure. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Latoya, for your
Thank you.
your feedback. So good. I'm glad you guys made a connection there. Yeah, I kind of say that every day to myself. Aren't we tired of being let down by higher ups? Or I don't like get into the government thing, but isn't it time we just did something better? I mean, if you think about it, we've done this show for what a month and a half, and I've seen more ideas come out of regular people that actually help so much more. And I'm not the one that says we need a smart individual up there in the office somewhere. I think if you put average people in these positions, like presidents, vice presidents, councilmen, all that, if you put regular people who didn't really have a personal agenda, we'd probably get a lot more things done. I could probably pick out of the 1,400,000 people that I've seen in passive, there's at least 500 that I know that would do a better job than anyone I've seen my entire lifetime helping people out. They concentrate on things like war, where we concentrate on survival because of these wars. So just keep that in your mind that a lot of you on here are going to make a huge difference because you're finally talking about it. You're bringing it out. So Miss Jennifer, if you would please unmute yourself.
Hi. So I got a couple things here. So just listening to Latoya about the insurance. So coming from Canada, it always shocks me that your medical isn't covered by your government. Like our medical is all covered. So if we go to the hospital, it's all paid for. Some of the other things, like I think mental health, if you want to go to a therapist, then that's when the insurance companies get involved and start, messing around with you. And my actual comment was actually for Kyrie. Am I saying that right? I hope so. I work with a childhood cancer charity, and we do something very similar to what she was talking about with childhood cancer. A lot of the cancers are very unique and specific, and sometimes the kids have to go to other countries to get help. So what our charity does is we actually pay for medical bills that aren't covered by the insurance company. So I was going to say, if you wanted to get, to talk to me about how we kind of have that set up and how we keep track of it and organize and fundraise and all that kind of stuff, feel free to reach out to me, because that's basically what we've been doing for years, is paying for these kids extra. It's mainly prescriptions, drugs, because cancer drugs, like I think was Chris saying, that was very, very expensive, because childhood cancer, again, is a totally different cancer from what adults get, and their treatments are very different. So, and they're very, very expensive. So, so if you want, any information on how we put that together, feel free to reach out to me. That's all I really wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you so very much. I'm writing your name down, and I will be sending you an email. I'll send you a message, as well as Latoya. I'm writing her name down as well. I'll send her a message. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. You guys make those connections. You're gonna, believe it or not, you're gonna get more work done than any higher up has done probably in 60 years. Because the truth is, you guys lived through it. You've seen it. You've watched it probably since you were children. But yet, none of us ever questioned it as we were growing up. We just thought that's the way it is. But I'm letting you know from this big head mouth here, it's not the way it's supposed to be. All right. We are human beings. We all love our families. We all care about each other. Yeah, we got some haters in this world that like to destroy everything for us. But the truth is, no, not one of us, a human being, should ever have some kind of money put on their head or a price tag of what you can and can't do to get fixed. If you break something or if you need healing, it should be there. I know Canada's got that whole different system over there going, where you guys got all healthcare. There's a balance. I can't remember what it was between America and Canada of what you guys get and what we get. When I think of it, it'll pop in my head, I'm sure, but it is a real big difference there. But technically, you do get that health care over there. But let me ask you this, Jennifer, is it equalized out that no matter who you are in Canada, you get health care?
Yeah. Anything like through your doctors, like we can go to our doctors. We don't have to pay we don't pay to go see doctors or go to the hospital or get surgeries. Certain surgeries, like plastic surgery, any kind of, that kind of stuff you have to pay for. But if you, like for that gentleman that had the heart transplant, they wouldn't be like, okay, you don't have insurance, so you'd get the heart transplant. So, there's a lot of things, like there's a bit of a waiting list for certain things like non-surgical, like non-life-threatening, like knee and hip surgery. But then, talking to people in the healthcare system, there's always some issues with that too, and reasons why. So it's, that's kind of takes a bit of time, but to wait for those things. But for like first, like I've had some major things happen to me, and I've had no issues. Like I've had the best care. For example, I had a DVT, which is a deep vein thrombosis. I got it and I almost died when my daughters were born. And, within going to the doctor, then into the hospital, it was like bang, bang, bang. And I was in surgery and I was taken care of. And, so there was no, I know a lot of people down there, when they're trying to basically say you fight against getting universal health care for Americans, they say, well, Canada's system is crappy and you guys don't get good health care and you don't have, but that's not true. I think that's just a talking point. So I personally have not had any bad experience or anybody that I know. So, and I'm, there's going to be certain things that, sometimes people do have issues because, it's people, it's doctors. Sometimes they do, something happens, but our healthcare is, really, really good, I think. So other than, then you have to start paying for your prescriptions. That's, like I said, where the insurance company comes in and starts gouging you. And
yeah, I never understood insurance companies, to be honest with you. And over here, I'm sure we have deductibles where you, if something happens, you got to pay a pretty big deductible.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow, you pay already monthly for insurance. But then something happens where you need it, you got to pay them more money. Yeah, that never makes sense to me. That's just another corrupt business, if you ask me.
It
should be every year that I don't use it. How about giving me a deductible back? But they won't do that.
Well, that's it. And I think that's the issue is you have the insurance companies involved. So it's all about the money in the healthcare system there. So that's, I think, and until you get, like, I don't even know what the solution would be because the insurance companies are so entrenched in your healthcare system, they're not giving that up because they make too much money.
Right. Well, the system has to be changed. Technically, insurance companies are just very, very humongous businesses that when you need them, they want to fight you on it.
Yeah.
I never understood that. If Jennifer needs a heart transplant or a lung transplant, no questions asked. Let's get her on the donor, whatever it is. I mean, I got to believe in the next 5-10 years, they're going to be able to make heart and lungs through artificial intelligence, literally from man-made materials. We can all live maybe to a couple hundred years old because I think that's coming. I don't see why it can't. We've pretty much changed everything in our bodies through other people passing away. I'm sure something will come along. But Jennifer, once again, thank you for your comments. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening.
Tim Dillon, go ahead, unmute yourself, please.
Chris,
Tim,
you're right on target. I think we get caught up with the pieces of paper that get put on a wall. They don't mean anything unless they really can fix it. All right. We have a lot of paper hangers, the way I like to say, but we have a lot of fixers, and fixers could help those paper hangers do their job better to make their ideas come to fruition in a reasonable amount of time. And I think we have a great organization with a lot of paper hangers and a lot of fixers. And if we get them all together in one room about one problem, oh my goodness, what's going to come out of that room? Come on, people. It's not that hard. Dream and believe.
Tim, you got any more words there, buddy? You look like you got some more in your brain there. You being
I
a
always have
person-
words.
Well, I know that you had a major accident, and I know that was, I'm sure, very, very expensive with all the hospital bills. And I know people that have been in those accidents that have been paying those bills for many years. It's basically like they're a house. They pay a monthly fee to a hospital that saved their life or put them back together.
I was very fortunate that because of family, I had very good attorneys, and I came out of it. I came out hurting, but not necessarily totally out the door. I have a ways to get back to where I was, and God bless I'm passive. This, I swear, I came out of the coma. There was a reason. And that was 10 years ago. I'm about ready to experience why I was allowed to wake up. The man upstairs has something for me, and I think it's coming.
Absolutely.
I love you all, and I'm so happy to be with you on this journey. I wish I had a better voice. Oh, well.
You got a good voice, buddy. Your voice sounds great. So,
Love y'all.
Tim. We love you back, brother. And guys, let's keep this to how we can fix it. I think most of us know that what's broken. Let me hear some ideas what you would do. What we're all going to do to fix this. I already know what's broken. I'm 56 years old. I've seen a lot of things I never understood why it's that way, but now I know that we have something that can completely turn that around. So, Engineer Mike, thanks, Tim. Engineer Mike, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Good evening, all leaders. Just to let you people know how it's very hard hearing. Thank you for the speakers who first spoke. When you see people going through problems, ill health is what you don't want to have. You always want to be healthy. Ill health costs a lot in people's lives and homes. I had a surgery on the 3rd of June. I've been on the waiting list for that surgery for like over 2 or 3 years. But like what Jennifer told you people, in our country, Canada, it is quite different. We have good healthcare. So my surgery on the 3rd was very successful, and it was free. Okay, it was free. I had full anesthesia. It's not like it was just some kind of minor surgery. No, it was a major surgery, but I've still been very active. I was there for like 3 days and I was out. So just to let you people know, this country, when it concerns healthcare, you see how people, you'll be on that waiting list, but when the time comes, they'll attend to you and they'll do it with all their heart, and they'll keep on calling you to follow up what is going on with you after the surgery, like post-surgery. The nurses will call, the doctor will call. So when you people tell me all the insurance things and all of that is really hard-hitting. People will be on the list, but they cannot get healthcare because they don't have insurance. It's so, yeah. It's a surgery that I could have paid by myself, right? But just the fact that the country can do it for you for free. So why not? It's different. Well, my heart goes to everybody who have gone through all of this kind of trauma, because we don't really know. But we have a solution, and the solution is all blessed. That's why we are here, brainstorming to see how we can bring those facts together. And thank you to our sisters who have already spoken. With all blessed, we'll move a lot of mountains. With all blessed, carry on, and all of you people, like everything that concerns all blessed, we want to be the part and parcel of it till the end. Chris started it like a joke, but it's not more a joke. Just want to thank everybody who is putting an effort for these things to happen. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much, brother. All right, where'd Sylvie go? Sylvie.
Thank you, Chris, for giving me the floor. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to each and everyone. Let me say thank you to Chris and our CEO, because we will not put him behind, for bringing up this O Bless. Thank you for this O Bless webinar that I call Speaking with Open Heart Show. Yes, it's a place where we feel peace with our soul, because we all here experience at any moment in our life something that brings us down, not because we are weak, but because we are flesh. Meaning what? We are coming here to get therapy, that emotional therapy. Thank you to my sister Carrie for bringing up this topic. Healthcare topic is a very broad area involving administration, psychosocial, emotional, physical aspect. Do you know that we have a lot to do with OBLESS? At the point that if we don't put ourselves together, we will not be able to touch lives, starting by ourselves. Because just coming here and talking, sharing ideas, sharing testimony is part of healing. Let's heal ourselves before going out there and help others heal. I'm saying it because being in a healthcare field, I'm seeing a lot. You have people who have insurance, like we're talking now, but who don't have emotional support. They are abandoned in the bed of illness. No one is there. You have those who are dying in the little house because they don't have money to go and get diagnosed. You have those who are diagnosed but don't have the means to treat themselves. My fellows on passive family, we have a lot of work to do. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my native country, which is Cameroon. People don't get diagnosed. You wake up in the morning, you hear that someone just breathed from the nose and passed away. We will accuse that is somebody, is this person who touched him and then he just fell and that is it. We know that is because he has, a problem, a medical problem inside. Because he didn't get diagnosed, we couldn't find it. So what happened is, with Obless coming, I know that I'll have the mean, while helping all over, even Carrie, if she needs my help, whoever needs my help, I will bring that Obless to change life. Infrastructure, we need it. Emotional support, we need it. So thank you for Obless, because through Obless, we touch life. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Sylvie. Always wonderful to hear your beautiful voice and those wonderful words that come out of that mouth. I appreciate you. Let me ask you all a question. I think I asked you guys this before. Who knows the name of Hunter? Hold on, now I forgot it. Hunter Doherty. Who knows who that is? Anybody? Here, let me help you. What about Dr. Patch Adams? Anybody remember that movie with Robin Williams? Patch Adams, true story. That guy is still going, believe it or not. If you ever get the chance, watch that movie. It's actually a true story, almost to the T, where some things have been changed because of Hollywood. But that man is still going. He believed in free medicine. He wanted to be able to fix anyone through laughter. And he always said there's a way to help people that are sick. You just got to find it. I have been trying desperately to get that guy to come to a Zoom meeting because you love it. And I'm pretty sure I could get him. I just got to keep trying at it. I would love, and I hope he comes on because very interesting guy. But go see the movie. I think it's called Patch Adams, starring Robin Williams. It's really a good movie. And when you see the movie, you'll understand why I would love to get him, because he would love Obless. That's his whole life of just helping people. And the funny thing is, this guy is such a genius. He's a doctor. He's a comedian. He's on social media, and he don't make a dime. He's as broke as the guy that's living in a third world country that don't make $5 a year. It doesn't stop him. He just keeps going. So I am working on trying to get him to one of these Zooms. So Mr. William Marshmallow DeLorme, please unmute yourself, brother.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, buddy.
I wanted to talk about my experience in the hospital, and I want to relate it to what you're doing right now. So, I was in for 2 months and 2 weeks, and a month and 3/4 of it, I had an IV in my arm. I don't know how many bags that is every day. The social neurologist worker came to see me, and she wanted to put me in a home. I said that was going to be very expensive. I worked to survive. I think I sent you some pictures where I worked at the recycling plant. I worked taxi for 7 years. I worked very hard. And I think what you're saying about working for you worked in the factories. That is very hard to do. I think it's very hard on a person working for 20, 30 years. I didn't realize what a pandemic could do, but I guess I found out. And I have a lot of respect for the people that were in the hospital. I sponsored some people on passive in the hospital. So there was a reason for me to be so strong. I have on passive. So now it's gonna explode. So being here listening to all these stories, soon as we fix the underlying issue with Mike Ellis was talking about, we're gonna explode. So those are kind of the things I'm thinking about right now. There's places like creativity, artwork that they do in the hospital. I want to help them out. There's all kinds of things we can do with those bushel of apples. But right now I have to fix those underlying issues. And as soon as unpassive is coming, I'm going to have more exercise. I'm going to go once a week. I'm getting better all the time, my strength. I even dreaming of just getting out of bed and walking. I can feel it. So I'll be dancing, buying a mountain bike. I'll be doing these things. It's all about hope that helps lifting humanity. And people got to be treated like humans, not like a dollar bill. And I believe that a whole lot. Thanks, Chris.
Hey, thank you, William. Guys, there you go. All right.
Glory, 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 glory to you. Glory. I'm a crier. I'm a crier.
William, that's pretty powerful there, William. Guys, that's what maybe the people who are in charge of all these things should listen to. Someone like William who's been there. You know what he just did for us. Each one of you got a knot in your throat. Your heart probably jumped a few beats. Does it really got to be this bad? It doesn't. We're gonna make it better. I'm telling you, through all of us, just some little things. You'd be amazed that all it takes is just a little bit to fix this. I really truly believe it doesn't take a lot to fix this, because if you took away all the money in the world, honestly, we wouldn't have problems. That is the truth. But this money that a passive is going to earn for us, which Ash says is clean money, it's ethical money, man, it's going to do a lot of good things. We just got to make sure we keep our promises to ourselves that, yeah, we're going to help, we're going to give, we're going to change things that are, that haven't been fixed or never even looked at, because we think that's the way it's supposed to be. So, William, thank you very much for sharing that, brother. I appreciate you. Change things that are, that haven't been fixed or never even looked at, because we think that's the way. I got repeating myself. I like that. All right. Augustine, can you please lower your, unmute yourself, please?
Hi, Chris. Chris, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, sir?
Good. I'm very thankful to all of you. You've been doing a great job. I'm sorry I'm late, but I'll still gain something at this point. Um, I have two things to talk about. I don't know. Maybe I may be wrong because I was not there from the beginning. We focused, I mean, our brainstorming focused on a paradigm shift because we observed and accurately saw that the status quo cannot solve this big problem we are talking about. We cannot do the same thing and expect a different result. So I hope we were brainstorming with a focus on uh, what do you call it? What did I say? Yeah, with a paradigm shift in mind. With a paradigm shift in mind, because we cannot approach this with a paradigm shift. I'm sorry, we'll be doing the same thing. I cannot emphasize on this because I was not here from the beginning, so I'm just trying to throw in my own thing. Yes, because if we brainstorm with a paradigm shift in mind, we would be hoping to get a different results from what obtains now, because the status quo cannot solve this big problem. Having said that, I have just one word for Julie. Julie, please, I got your email, but you said you were going to get back to me. I've not had anything concerning the person I registered. In fact, this person sent his money from a different country far away to me. And
Augustine, if you
yes,
could please, let's communicate it through email. I believe I responded to you. Let's do that. All right. This is an OBLAST webinar. Let's communicate through email. Thank you, Augustine.
well, I've sent a follow up. Anyway, it's okay. I just want to make sure so that you know that, because I don't want to
If I
get this.
responded to you, that means that I've already have your email. So let's communicate either on the chat or email so that Chris can continue with the webinar that we are
All
doing.
right, thank you. I think I've done my own part in trying to remind you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so, yeah, as I was saying, I may be wrong, but that is the way I'm thinking.
I got you, Augustine. I understand. And just on that note, guys, Julie Wen has taken on quite a big challenge in the last few months of assisting support with many issues. Now, I know a big thing has been turned in recently, and she's still going at it. So don't worry about it. Even though the founder's position is ending, all right, all that stuff that she received has been turned in. So you're all okay. You are all okay. Okay.
Okay.
And I promise you that because I'm up usually with Julie late hours every night while she's working on that stuff, and she puts 100% of her own time into doing this for every one of us. So,
well, really, I appreciate her. I appreciate her. It's just that I wanted to be.
all right,
I don't
thank
know
you,
what will happen
Augustine.
when the 22nd comes, because this guy will kill me.
Yeah, no one wants to miss out, do they, Augustine?
Okay, thank
Hey,
you.
you tell that guy that's upset once he gets in, I'm going after him for no blessed project. You tell him I said that, okay?
That's right.
Let's fix this paradigm shift.
Yes.
All right, thanks a lot, Augustine.
Okay.
All right, Miriam, could you please unmute yourself, please?
Hi, everybody. We're talking about healthcare this evening, and one of the things, well, we talked about this before, I believe. One of the things I mentioned is I want to help the veterans. Veterans Hospital, we have it over in St. Louis. It is old, it is run down. When you go in there, those veterans don't have what they need. Okay. The beds are old. The equipment is old. Some equipment they don't even have. They don't get all the medicine. They, I wrote everything down. So if I could help, I would like to help with equipment, supplies, medicine, everything. The, the veterans, they just need, the hospital just needs new everything, you know, because they served, they took care of us. Now they're in a hospital that is undesirable, okay, to be nice. It's, they don't deserve it. I mean, they don't. It needs to be, they need to have care. A lot of stuff that they need, they're not even getting. My first husband was a vet, and this is why I know it. He got sick, and even when we weren't together, I still went and I saw him. I was still there every day. He knew it. I mean, I was always there. It's bad, and so this is where Oblast can come in by getting them what they need. So when families come in, they can say, okay, they're finally, I don't know, they're finally doing something for my husband. They're finally doing something for my uncle. They're not just laying in the bed waiting to die because nothing can be done because they don't have the resources. That's my heart.
Thank you, Miriam. Yep. See, you already recognize it. You don't, it's been like that for a long time, especially in veterinary hospitals. Vets that they serve vets in. They know it's there. They just don't want to spend the money. I guess those people ain't worth spending the money on. That's how they look at it. But you've noticed the problem. You know what you are going to start to fix. There's many people in Impassive, including Ash Mafara, who believes in helping out veterans on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah. All right. One individual can't walk in there and say, I want this, I want that.
No.
All right. but if I went and walked into the hospital, whether you knocked on the door or the president or the chairman of that building, say, listen, we're going to come in, we're going to refurbish this entire hospital with equipment, beds, facilities, everything fixed. You think they're going to say no? That's what it's going to take, believe it or not. Yeah. Even though they're going to try to say, oh, what's in it for me? What's in it for you is maybe we'll let you keep your job because you should have brought this to the attention of the committee years ago. Is why that guy that gave his life or lost both his legs and his arms to fight for our freedoms is laying in a bed that's got rusty springs sticking to it, for crying out loud.
They need people that care, not people that just clock in for a job and really don't give two hoots about what's going on. They need people working there that actually have a heart and that care about the people there. That's what they need.
Right. Well, Miriam, it sounds like you got a lot of work to do.
Huh? Yes, I do.
Right?
Yes, I do.
We could poke and point fingers all day, but until us finger pointers and us pokers go out and actually do something. So, Miriam, I'm counting on you to start that up.
You got it.
All right.
You got it. Yeah.
Talking about. Way to go. Thank you, Miriam.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I also believe that with healthcare, it is very large. But if each one of us specialize in an blessed niche, such as Miss Miriam, if you specialize in veterans equipment, I specialize in people that's in the hospital who needs treatment right then and there. If we all have a certain niche, because there are programs out there. There's a program out there I saw today. It's called Rest in Peace Medical Debt. There are more programs out there that want to pay the debt, but they forget the specializations that's needed. Like you're saying, paying for equipment for veterans. every little niche that we have, even though it's small, but you will be unaware. How can I say it? You'll be surprised how many people is in that small niche that you will be helping that other people don't look at.
Very good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Latoya, I see you have your hand back up. Do you want to say something again, Latoya?
Yes, I'm coming. Sorry. Yes. So, hold on a second. I was thinking of the grant program that you had mentioned, Chris. Hold on a second. Can I come back? My children have decided that they want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, thank
Keep your
you.
hand up,
I'll be right
Latoya.
back. I will. Thank you.
I'll come back to you. All right. Is it Okan? Can you please unmute yourself? Yumana?
That's correct. Yes.
Woo, I'm getting good at this.
My name is Okon Umana, and I'm the director of Good Samaritan World Children Health Organization, totally designed for African children. And I want to, especially my sister Sylvie, I want to advise all Africans that this is the opportunity that we have to solve African healthcare and everything in between problems. I want to let everybody here know that as by UNICEF, 80,000 children die a week from preventable causes in Africa. 80,000. And my main aim is to end that. And I'm going to, with the support, not only the Oblast, but all the members of UNPASSIVE. So we, all of us Africans that are in UNPASSIVE, we should get together and devise a way, because this is the greatest opportunity we have to end African problems in healthcare, poverty, degradation of women. This is the greatest opportunity for us. I have retired from practicing medicine in this country to do this exclusively, nothing to stand on my way. And we are going to get it done. And I would like to get in touch with you, Sylvie, because I'm now filing for permission for them for Cameroons to recognize my NGO so that we can get things started there. The way I do it is that we combine 30 to 50 villages together, all the poorest villages, we combine together and empower women to farm. We provide them with farm equipment, or we till the soil for them and provide them with fertilizer, because 90% of the children die of malnutrition. So we want to solve that first. And we have the greatest opportunity here in UNPASSIVE. Not just Oblast, but everybody in UNPASSIVE is thinks the same way as we do. So I just wanted to mention that. Sylvie, I would like to get in touch with you and so that we can discuss certain things that I think we should, and if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all, Okan. I'd love that discussion. Okay, what part of Africa is this again?
Well, she was talking about Cameroons. I put in my papers in Cameroons to get a recognition of the organization, and I have a recognition in 5 African countries so far.
Okay.
And Cameroons is the one that I applied now, and Senegal.
Okay. All right, we're gonna talk, Okan, okay?
Okay, very well.
All right. I'm gonna send you my email. Actually, Julie, can you send him in a private message if you remember my email for me? You remember my email, Julie?
Yes, of course.
Can you please? I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julie, for everything. I will send you email for something that I want to talk to you about.
Sure, I'll put it in the chat, Okan. Also, if you'd like.
All right.
Everyone wants to talk to Julie.
Well, she has been there for me all the time.
Yeah, she's been there for a lot of people. Thank you for saying that, Okan. She has been. She does a lot of things behind the scenes. She don't like me saying that, but you have no idea that she gives 20 hours of her day to a passive helping people out, and that's the honest to God truth. So, okay, let's go back to Latoya. She says she's back. Oh, Okan, look for a private message. Julie's going to send it to you. Go ahead, Latoya. Thank you, Okan.
Thank you.
So Chris, you mentioned that there was a federal grant program that was already available. And as I'm thinking about my plans to have my own blessed missions, one of them, I'm going to make a connection with an individual who just spoke. I was busy, so I didn't catch her name, helping veterans and active duty. And one of the thoughts that I had, and I think we could apply it to this particular Oblast mission, is just creating a fund for grants. And, you know, a lot of times the people don't know this, if they've never had to apply for grants, they don't know that the grants are out there. Sometimes there's a means test. So if you have the means, you don't qualify for the grant. You know, if, you know, by means like, you know, I'm a single parent, I lost my job, but I've made too much money, I can't get a grant for low-cost internet because my means are above what they're asked, what they're required. So, but grants are great because if you make a grant that has no limits, well, not no limits, no strings attached, I should say. So there's no strings attached to the money. Hey, I need this money to pay my doctor's bill. Okay, here is an Oblast for grants for, you know, paying off healthcare costs. Or, you know, for veterans, for example, a lot of people go to VA hospital, a lot of veterans get treated at VA hospitals. It's because it's free. You don't have to have insurance to go there. If you're a veteran, you can get free treatment. Now, is it the best treatment? You know, that depends on where you are, depends on who you are, maybe what you look like, you know. But if veterans had the money to be able to pay for that high quality healthcare, so they just don't have to go to the VA because that's their only option. So, you know, I was thinking with the Oblast, the fund itself as a grant fund. And, you know, people, you know, we do the direct marketing and the direct traffic to folks who would benefit from applying for a grant. And we're essentially saying, hey, there is a grant available for this purpose. You know, if you feel like you want to apply for this grant, here's the means. Give us your name, your email, and we funnel them into the Oblast project. But I think having it in as a grant form so that people can just say, hey, I need the money for this, or I need the money for that. So we're not having to explain, we're not having to come with our hat in our hand and say, this is my sad story, and I need the money to be able to survive. No, we want people to be like, oh, here's this grant out here. and they are willing to give me the money that I need for this particular issue or this particular situation. So it could be grants with helping to, purchase your first home, a grant to, help you get through a transition period from the time where you're switching from one job to another, a grant to, help you pay off your medical bills. So I was, so I want to put that out there as a way to kind of like operationalize what we're talking about, so that people know that it's there. There's no way that you can be turned down. Well, you have insurance, so we're not going to give you this grant because your insurance will cover it. Well, my insurance is the problem. Well, we don't want to put any limitations on people's ability to apply for the funds. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. Well, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? I know exactly what you're talking about. Myself in my younger days was always trying to start a business one way or the other. And I heard about federal grants. So I went and bought all the books and the literature on it and studied it. And it turned out that I made too much money to get any kind of grant to help me start a business or something like that. That's the weird thing. So, but I'm actually going to talk to the Mr. Ash about why not start a passive grant system through the foundership. And, I know we're going to have he's going to have all kind of different ways Obless is going to be run, but like you said, he likes to hear different ideas and it makes him think about more ways he can improve it. So no, LaToya, I know exactly where you're going at. I appreciate you.
Thank you, everyone. This is last for me. Kids are going to bed, so I'm actually headed out. Thank you.
All right. Good night, LaToya. Thanks again. All right. We got about a half hour left. Let's see. Janine, can you please unmute yourself? Janine, I know you have muted yourself. Can you say something? Is your mic working? Janine, we will come back to you. You can keep practicing or trying. Keep your hand up.
It seems like her mic is on, but
yeah,
it doesn't come through.
All right, Janine, we'll get back to you. You keep trying. Janine, you might want to sign out and then come back in, and we'll keep an eye for you, attendees. You might not have turned your audio on. Okay. Before I bring on Richard, I want to say something. The COVID shots, the research, they put $19.3 billion into the vaccine research. That's, you know how much money that is? 19.3 billion. Now, it seems like they could come up with money like that, but they don't want to come up with money for people that need it. Now, mind you, the vaccination goes, I don't want to get into the vaccination because everyone's got an opinion on it, but think about $19.3 billion or $500 billion in grants annually. If they just took, okay, can I have 100 billion of that so I can help these people out in these hospitals, these veterans get some new beds, new machinery? Or what about, hey, I want to pay for everyone's medication throughout the world? I mean, stuff like that. They don't think like that. They really don't think like that, but we should think like that. All right, Richard, go ahead and unmute yourself. Janine, I'll come back to you. Richard, go ahead.
I love all you beautiful men, women, and children of the world from the bottom of my heart. Healthcare, well, I guess the healthcare would not be under such pressure if the environment in the workplace was better than what it is. I worked in an atmosphere full of poisonous gases. I got caught by poisonous gases way back in '68. We were working in 120 to 140 degree temperature all the time, so we were wet all the time. When it came time to install, finally somebody decided to install a system to cool us down in our panel room. Well, this guy wanted promotion, so they didn't put the system strong enough for us. So we were still at 110 degrees inside the panel room. So I ended up disabled because of it, because arthritis caught me, and it's the arthritis that eats the bones. I ended up with titanium hips. I ended up with plastic eyes from cataract, being told by the specialist that it was caused by the lights in the industry. We don't know that, but those tubes that we have all over the industry, they actually flash. That's what he was telling me. They blink and they flash. And that's why a lot of people have eye problems. So what I'm trying to say is, there would be, if we could work with companies to make their environment better for their workers, Oblast can help in that way. Because if a person has a lot, they'll listen to him. Like if Bill Gates went over to the industry, they'd listen to him because he's a billionaire. But it would take a lot of pressure off healthcare. I'll give you an example, the hospital in my hometown. What one hospital in the big city of Toronto uses for their lawn care per year would keep my hospital going for 3 years. So what's happening is the government is not putting the money where it belongs. In other words, the big hospital, they can do their lawn, they get paid for it, but the small guy, small hospital, has to survive. So he's not getting the funds that the big one is because he's small. So that's where Oblast, I come in with Oblast because I got a position that all the money is going to go to my hospital and other hospitals that are in need, not the big guys. They don't need it. Yes, we have free healthcare. We pay for it. That's why our gas is over $9 a gallon right now here in Canada. And that's why when you work, I'd say you might as well say 40 to 45% of your wages goes towards taxes and healthcare and pensions and whatever. But we have no problems, except like one was saying, you're in line when your turn comes. But if I get a heart attack, I get priority. If I'm in an accident, I get priority. So really, it's a good system. There is a waiting problem, but at least it don't cost nothing. I was in Alabama. I got sick. I was in the hospital emergency for 3 hours. They charged me $2,500 and they didn't do nothing for me. Nothing. They just put me in a room and charged me $2,500. When it came time to pay, I looked at the lady. I said, ma'am, I says, I'm a Canadian. I says, we don't pay. So I says, you find a way to make me pay. Goodbye. I'm not going to go and pay $2,500 for nothing done. But this is what's happening. And there's over 40 countries that have free healthcare. Actually, the whole world should. We should go after the oil companies to give a little bit more. Come on, let's put it towards free healthcare. But I love you all. Big kiss, big hug. Didn't want to bring up my problems, but I'll tell you, it's hard to breathe and it's hard to walk when you can't cross the street. It's sad. I used to do 2 jobs for 33 years. and now I'm feeling. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, you've been through the ringer there, buddy, but we want to change it. We want to change it. Appreciate your words, Richard. Okay, guys, we got about 23 minutes left. We have Bruce, Edward, Key, and Janine, if her speaker works, and that'll be it. So this is the last call for hands. I'd like to get done at 11 o'clock because I know a lot of people got to work tomorrow. And I have a lot of work to do after 11 o'clock till at least 4 o'clock. So Bruce Gerstein, can you please unmute yourself?
I certainly can, Chris. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for putting this on. Kiri, I want to tell you, you have the heart of an angel, and it's wonderful to hear you speak about what your passion is about. It reminded me of when I was working in New York City. I worked for an agency that was delinquency for bills that were over 20 years old. And one day I got one at my desk, and it was a woman whose husband had died. He was under dialysis. And because of the paperwork, she had owed $70,000, and they wanted to collect it. My heart was such that I said, she does not deserve to even see that mentioned to her, and it went into the garbage pail. And I don't think the city bothered with it. It was no big deal. But the thing about hospitals in general is they want money. And no matter where you are, they want money. So I was in the Philippines and I gotten sick. And I was on a very, very weak, and I don't know if I was wheeled or had a cane. But the first thing they did when they saw me was they wanted to know, how are you going to pay for being here? Because they were putting me into emergency and then gave me a room. And I said, well, I have a credit card. And suddenly the books for what kind of room I wanted came out. But in the end, they misdiagnosed me and said I had some kind of heart failure, and it was nonsense. And I said, I'm going to leave. And they said, well, if you leave, you'll leave against medical advice. And I told them, I don't care, because this is not going to insurance. I'm paying for myself. But what I noticed is that, like, when they were talking about Africa in general, Southeast Asia in general, are very poor in their treatment of people. If you don't have money, you don't get treated. I had a friend whose father needed a ventilator, and because they had no money, he died. Just because he had no money. Here it's different. Here we have emergencies where they have to treat you. In Canada, most third world countries don't have social medicine. It's mostly wealthier countries that have that. But medicine, social medicine is not free. You pay taxes. So one way or the other, you're paying for it. But that's besides the point. I want to say that for me, I look at what the tech guys talked about a lot, and what Ash talks about a lot, is the autonomy of our system, how much it is self-supporting, how much it is starting to keep everything protected within it. And when we go outside of it, thinking that we're going to do this and that, we forget that our money from OBLESS will come from the funds that we get in OBLESS. When you talk about getting grants and all that stuff, it's good to help people in a system, but it has nothing to do with OBLESS. OBLESS, I also belong to a fellowship that has one tradition that says we're fully self-supporting, declining outside donations. And that's a lot of what we do here in OnPassive too. We don't need to go outside of OnPassive to ask for things, because OnPassive will be able to take care of it all. And that's one thing that I have to remember. keep us pure and clean. Because once we come from outside looking to look for sources outside, they want to be alignment. And when they want alignment, they also want a piece of something. And that's not what on-passive is about. On-passive is about a pure system that allows us to stay autonomous. That's why we have data centers, so we can be autonomous, so we can be free of everything, so everything is protected. And it's very important to remember the protection of on-passive. But with bless myself, I want to be able to go back to Philippines and go back to Africa and help the people. But what I do know for me is that you can't do a whole village, 20 villages all at one time. That's big thinking. What you have to do, it's like if you have a lake and you throw a penny in a lake, it has a ripple effect. So if you just help a couple of people at a time, little by little, you start to make it bigger and bigger. That way I know that we don't you don't have to get overwhelmed in or less to have things work out. Big projects are for people who understand what it takes to do big projects. Most of us here, there may be people who are specialized in things that help in that. But what's important is that it's like, I look at like the Mennonites or the Quakers, they do what's called barn raising. And what happens is someone has to build a barn and they get somebody to come out, they get the community to come out and help raise the barn, which means they build it. And it's the same thing, and on-passive and on-blessed. We have people who help build the barn or build a clean water or help with people with who need. I always think about it when somebody can't afford, like Chris was saying one day about going to a gas station and paying for somebody's gas. If somebody's going into the hospital, they can't afford it, help them out, one person at a time, until finally, when it comes to things like clean water, if you clean 20 houses at one time, that's a good thing, because once you clean 20 houses, you'll end up cleaning more. But I always look at things as being little by little, things get better and better. There's no such thing as be doing a big project all at once, because even a big project takes time to coordinate and get all pieces in a row before you take one step into it. So anyway, I'm just saying that because I want people to remember that when we look at on-passive and we look at blessed, don't look outside as much as look inside for this beautiful community of 1.4 million people, many of whom we don't know, but many of whom will come to the table at some point and step up to the plate. We're uplifting humanity. One person.
Brucey, I can let you go on all night, but I got to stop you, man. I got some more hands up.
Stopping right there, Chrissy.
You got some great air in those lungs, brother. I appreciate all your words, Bruce. Thank you very much. I did not mean to cut you off, but we got less than 15 minutes. And Edward, before I pick you, I know Janine came back on and she was in line first. Janine, is your sound working now? Can you unmute yourself? Try.
Can you hear me?
Oh, God, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. I have a good solution because just a month ago, I do a lot of research in alternative healing methods that can heal the whole body in record time. And this YouTube guy came on, and it's through this one doctor, through this special machine that I don't know if you ever heard of the blue beam. It's like photon energy colors with energy. It's like almost like laser photon energy going into the body. And this one doctor is amazing because these machines, they've been going to people's homes for the last maybe 10 or 11 years and has healed so many people. And this, the machines have been hidden from the public for this long. And I think they need to be shared because it shows very wonderful promises. And I would like to give you guys the doctor's name because, yes.
Janine, can I stop you for a second?
Yes.
Why don't we talk about that in another show? Before I promote someone, I need to have facts. I can't just go out there on a YouTube. I need realistic, and I'm not denying what you're saying is not true, but I need actual facts and reality. I can't share. There's a million people on YouTube that have healing powers. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to cut you off, but this is for solutions.
But this.
Okay, no, well, Janine, let me get back with you. Maybe we can make another Bless show out of it.
Okay.
Okay. But I need, if you can send me actual facts, documentation on what this is, and let me review it, and then I will get back to you and we'll discuss that further. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm planning on doing it myself.
Well, that's good. I like it, but make sure you have all your facts correct. There's a lot of people out there claim they can do a lot of things with certain equipment. Not to say it's true or false, but please make sure you have the real facts about it, not just what it, anyone could say, Key Wendell's on here. You could probably talk about that. And I don't know, he's not gonna, but there's a lot of people out there on YouTubes or TikTok saying that they can heal the world or heal this, or they have a special equipment. If that equipment was that important, Jeannie, I think it would be out there already. But I don't know the whole facts. So you get it together, send me the facts, and we'll discuss it. How's that?
Okay, so what about, you want it on an email or you
Yeah, Julie was gonna send you my email and a private message in the haven't you sent me stuff before in this, Janine?
I don't know.
I think you might have, but go ahead. Julie, if you could send her my email and she'll send me on the information. Janine, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right.
God bless
Edward,
everybody.
okay, God bless you too. Edward, go ahead, buddy. Thank you for being a gentleman, and unmute yourself, please.
Okay, thank you. I know we're short on time, so I'll go really fast. One thing I think we could do is many people that could pay it forward with getting people positions that will help people be self-sustainable. And then another idea I have is like preventative programs. Like I saw one person, they have a food bank, but they have it set up like a grocery store. So when people go in there, they don't feel ashamed about it, and they can actually get like fresh fruit and vegetable. So they're not just eating like a lot of canned and processed stuff that could lead to further health conditions.
I like that, Edward. Yeah, there's a lot of good things out there, but a lot of people don't understand is how do we help people? And reseller position is really where we're going to help a lot of those people out. As our apples come in and our team gets bigger and bigger, or I'd say our family gets bigger and bigger, you're just going to be able to bless people with reseller positions. All right. As far as eating healthy, I think that's something you need to teach me, Edward, because I'm horrible at it. What else you got, buddy? Edward, can you hear me?
I have more stuff, but I know that it's only like 8 minutes, so I'll just end with that.
Edward, next week, you raise your hand right in there, Chris, remember, and I'll bring you on first one. You can talk about it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Edward. T. Wendell, please unmute yourself and try not to laugh at me.
Hey, Chris, thanks for bringing me on, buddy.
Hey,
guys, I'm at work and I'm sorry. I just jumped on, was here. You were talking about healthcare and had some things I wanted to share real quick. We're short staffed tonight. It's all across the country. We've already had 3 emergencies in the ER. I've already been to 1 code already, and there's no telling what's going to happen the rest of the night. But healthcare in America is it's broken. Part of the problem is there's some monopolization going on, and I'm going to speak about one software company. You can Google it. You can look it up. It's called Epic. Epic is a software program, and physicians in the ER, I've seen them. The software makes them override what they want ordered. So actually, you have insurance companies and you have software companies that are running healthcare in the United States. Doctors are not. It's a problem. I don't have a solution suggestion. The one thing that I would suggest, healthcare is the only business that I know of that if you have insurance, you pay more. And what I mean by that, if you go in for a heart surgery and you've got good health insurance, hospital's going to bill to the hilt your insurance company for that surgery. If you're self-pay, they put you on a step tier level and you get a reduced price. What other business does that? What other business charges you more money because you have insurance, where if you say, hey, no, don't use my insurance, I want to pay for this out of pocket, and you get a discount? That's what's happening in healthcare. The one solution that I want to suggest to everybody, great hospital, great guy, respect him a lot. He's no longer with us. Danny Thomas. Danny Thomas built a hospital called St. Jude. And I can see us coming together, locking arms, and we can build a hospital and call it whatever we want to, children or whatever. And families come and don't worry about getting a bill. It's taken care of. And I think that's something that we can do. We can't do it today. We can't do it tomorrow. But I think it's something that we can work towards doing. We can also work together and have a board. And if somebody has insurance bill or medical bills, they can submit those for payment, be reviewed by people with medical experience and billing within On Passive, look at it and say, yeah, we can help you out here. There's a lot we can do. Chris, thanks for letting me speak. I know it's short on staff. If I went over anything anybody else had talked about, great to see you guys. I've just been working my tail off, guys. So
Key, before you go, number one, thank you. Can you give me a little help on people on YouTube thing? They have certain things that can fix. Just give me your professional opinion, because I don't want everyone to think I'm this hard guy and say, no, because I like every opportunity to be heard. Can you give me a little professional when you hear something like that, just to help out a little bit?
Anything that's submitted for healthcare cures or treatment goes through blind studies and has to be really peer reviewed, and shows that it's got efficacy and it actually does do what it says it can do. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to patients' rooms and I find chicken feet and feathers in the bed because people believe in voodoo. But
Right.
here's the thing about voodoo. If you believe in it, I mean, I have heard, and you can read about it, people have coded, if somebody believes they're going to die at 12:01 because they've been cursed, it happens. So it's a lot what goes on in your head. But, for things to be approved within this country, we do have medical boards and reviews and peer reviews. And I mean, the FDA is the biggest bottleneck there is. I mean, that's what happened with the COVID vaccine, was getting things through the FDA for approval. And then everybody complained that it was rushed, so it's a catch-22, but it's our system. There's a lot of problems, guys, but, I think we can come together and help one another, help our friends. I know that, our peer circle of friends within On Passive, we find out somebody's, needs major surgery, it's going to be done without even asking. But we can do that on a bigger level.
Thank you, Key. I appreciate it. And if you ever find chicken legs, if I'm in your hospital, that's because I eat the chicken because I love chicken. You can do whatever you want with the legs. So I appreciate you, Key. All right, David Odo, you had your hand up. Did you take it down? Did you want to say something real quick, David? Thank you, Key.
Good to see you, Chris.
Yeah, you, brother.
I was disabled like 35 years ago, and I was misdiagnosed, and it took me 5 years to find out I had a split vertebrae. So, of course, I jumped for the surgery because, I mean, 5 years of suffering like that, it was driving me nuts. And the surgery failed. So I ended up having these 2 rods in my lower spine, and that fastened my hips through my hips. In 2004, I was in a car accident, double T-boned. And then I think what happened is it shifted a rod on the right. So now my upper body is more over my left leg. So I walk bent over. And there's got to be a doctor somewhere in this world that could probably fix it. Because my doctor says it's a chronic osteoporosis, but it's not. All my vertebrae are gone from the L5 up. And my spine sticks out behind me. It pokes outwards. It should go inwards. And he said that I wouldn't survive a surgery that extensive, but I think I could. You know, it's just a matter of straightening it out. Like, I mean, it looks like I'm walking around looking for dimes when I walk, because I have to walk with support because I just can't.
David, I'm going to send engineer Mike. He's a big guy, and I'm going to have him give you a bear hug. You're going to straighten it right out. How's that?
That would do it, man. Push it right.
All right, David. Thank you for your words there. All right, guys. Good show. Edward from Florida. I want to make sure you remind me next Tuesday about bringing you on because I want to hear about the natural foods. Very interested in that. I think a lot of people are. A lot of people are interested in natural foods. Augustine, keep that beautiful smile on your face, and we'll get your answers to your questions. And everyone, I want to thank Julie Wen and Lynn Nakamoto for helping me run the board tonight. You both did an amazing job. I appreciate you both. I want to thank my beautiful sister, Kyrie Young. Did I say that right, Kyrie?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Chris.
It only took me 2 hours and 5 minutes to figure that name out, but I appreciate you for coming on. And your short presentation turned into a whole bunch of problem solving, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And I want to thank everyone who allowed me to share this with you. And thank you so very much. I look forward to speaking with you all in the near future.
Excellent. And that's what we're doing here, guys. We're not only talking brainstorming, but I'm also trying to connect a lot of you together so you can start working on those projects. I mean, believe it or not, we all connect one way or the other, no matter who we are or where we came from. One way or another, we run into the same issues. And together, I think we can fix a lot of those issues through what Unpassive is going to gift us through the apples with your hearts. And you got a lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of people. Bless is really growing. It's one of the most talked things about on the webinars now. You did hear Ash Mafara bring it up about the refugees. That was a very strange thing that we did. And he put a video. Chris, you're not going to believe what I'm doing right now. I'm actually stacking my truck full of stuff to go help refugees. So it was quite a kicker. I have got a lot of information for people about refugees. And remember this, I myself and everyone care about everyone. I'm not picking one certain thing out. I'm trying to get every country to share the story. And I'm asking, if you're in a country that you have a project or a solution, please email me. Get it to me somehow. You can get it to any leader. They'll get it to me. I get them sent to me all day long. And I got to go through them and review them. But I want to thank everyone, including Ash. Reminder, again, tomorrow, Wednesday, 22nd, when we go into the 23rd at 12:01, you will not allowed to be able to sign up for any more founders, okay? Ash Mafara is going to come on with us on a Passive 360. Marty DeGramo, Red Redford, and myself on Thursday at 2 o'clock. You might want to be on that. But remember, guys, it's all recorded. Everything we do is recorded. You can watch it anytime. Also, between Red and Marty's updates, during all week long. Peter Shore, Janet Butler, Daryl Cook, Dan Street, all writing notes, helping everyone out, doing it on their own time, their own dime to keep us all going. Because I have a lot of people that work many hours. And they say, Chris, tell these guys that are taking the notes, thank you very much. Hey, you know what? They know you're there and they appreciate you just as much because they love it. They can go in there and read the notes and know exactly what Ash said rather than being on a webinar for 4 hours. So it does help. But I want to thank you. I want to tell you to keep your hearts open. There's things that need to be fixed. I want you to keep your minds open. And there's things that are so small and easy that we could fix, and just keep looking for those. There really is a solution to every problem. The problem is in the years past, if it wasn't a person's problem, it wasn't their problem. Let's make all problems ours and let's try to fix them. Once again, I thank you all. I'll see you next Tuesday. I know, bless, same time. And if anything changes, I'll let you know, but let's just get this going. I love every one of you. Make sure you tell Ash before I thank you.
History is being made. History is being made.
Unmute yourself and say, hey, 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 hey.
Hey,
Good night. Good night.
Hey, 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 hey.